Okay, we are in Johns Creek, Georgia. I'm with Roy and Rebecca Dumas. We are at Gregory's Paint and Flooring, and it's great to have you on, and I appreciate you having us here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dave. We appreciate you being here.
Now, this is an interesting operation. You're in, as your name would indicate, both in paint and in flooring. It looks like it's half and half, at least according to the layout. Talk about your history in this business, how you got in the business, how you got here.
Okay. Well, for us, it started back in '93 when I came down to Atlanta. I got a job working as a store manager in a very similar business to this. It was a paint and flooring store, and as a matter of fact, it had very similar. It had Benjamin Moore and it had flooring, and I found it to be a good combination. So a few years later, we decided to go into business for ourselves. Opened our first store, which was over in Lawrenceville, and then purchased this store back in 2009. So we actually bought this we're the second owner of this business, but the business has been around since '87, but we purchased it in 2009.
I got you.
And we've just stuck with the concept all along. Just the paint and flooring seemed to be a good fit together.
Did you change a lot when you moved to this new store? Did you tweak things and change them?
We did. We added wallpaper, which has been hot. We also added our Hunter Douglas line, which is a good brand that goes with our Benjamin Moore paint. We do a lot of service-oriented consultations for people, putting the whole plan together.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me just ask you about the size of the business, how many people you have, just, so everybody has an idea as to how big the place is.
Well, we're in the process of expanding right now. We're underway with construction for another location, so we're adding another location, which we plan on probably having open about July, beginning of July probably. Very similar, it'll be a paint and flooring store. So we're starting to up our staff a little bit here to start training people to prepare for that. Right now we have 5 people here at this store, and we're probably going to add 1 or 2 more once we get the other store going. And of course, we use a lot of different installers as well. They're not on our payroll per se, but they're guys that work for us, on a regular basis that are pretty much employees, but not officially employees. So,
talk about the motivation behind your expansion. I mean, it seems like competition is tougher. The big guys, both brick and mortar and online, are taking pot shots at people like you. Was that the motivation behind adding a location?
Well, there's a couple factors involved there. Obviously, when you get into adding additional locations and you become an aligned dealer, we're a Shaw Flooring aligned dealer, you have a little better buying power. The more you buy, the better your prices can be, the more competitive you can be. And really the market that we're moving into, the coming market, seems like a good opportunity up there. There doesn't seem to be a lot of people up there. And as far as the paint side goes, the other thing about that is making it easier for contractors to get to will make them come in more often. A city like Atlanta, the traffic is pretty heavy around here, and if you're not convenient, people aren't going to drive out of their way to get to you. That's one of our main reasons for doing this, to make it a little easier on the contractors.
Do you ultimately see locations other than the new one incoming?
We do, yes. We've already got another one in the works that we're thinking of for next year.
I see. That really puts things in a whole new light, doesn't it, in terms of operations? I mean, it's one thing running one store, it's another running many. That would seem to be a tough one.
It is. It's going to be a challenge, and luckily Rebecca's a big part of that. She's, when I'm not at one store, she can be at one store, and we're going to probably be, splitting our time a lot just to make things work properly. And getting key people, good people is really big. I mean, we search high and low trying to find good employees, and that's important to us. We really want key people, and we try to take good care of them and pay them well so they'll stay, and we do everything we can for them. So people are really first and foremost with us. We've got to have the right people under us. I hear you.
How has business been so far this year?
It's been great. We had a record month last month, record year last year, and we plan on surpassing that this year. So times are good, and we feel real positive.
How would you describe your average customer?
It usually starts. I have a blog about this, and it all starts with color. So a lot of times, a lady will come in seeking advice on putting together her color plan for her inside or outside. We go over there and help them with that, and then other things evolve. You develop a relationship with this customer, then you get into selling them flooring, and they come to you with each project. So we're very appreciative of that.
Okay. So you're the design whiz, and that's really a major part of this business, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. It's something we've been doing a long time, and we feel very blessed that we have people come from our store in Lawrenceville that we opened in '97. I still have customers that I deal with and referrals from that business, so it's been good.
So would you say when somebody wants assistance, color and design and style and stuff like that, price becomes less a factor? I won't say, unimportant, but less a factor if they fall in love with something like that?
I think so. I think people nowadays are appreciative of the customer service we offer. We still have to be competitive, and we are, and we do, have people check that, and we're conscious of that. But, we want the ultimate outcome to be right, and we want them to be happy. So we want to sell them the products that are of good quality, because we plan on being here a lot more years, and, our name and our reputation means everything.
I gotcha. Talk about commercial versus residential. Do you do a lot of commercial business?
Commercial, we don't do a lot of it, but it is starting to be a little more of our business. We're starting to do smaller scale commercials. We look at occasionally doing, I just measured for a country club, some flooring in a place like that. We just did, it's a commercial building that they're making into apartments, that kind of thing, but it's a small scale. We do a few, we did a pharmacy, a lot of Main Street commercial, the smaller type. We don't really get into the large scale stuff, but we are getting some of that smaller scale stuff.
I gotcha. Management software, industry-specific software, is that something you guys rely on?
Well, for us, we have a point of sale that is specific to the paint industry, and that's the one we use. We haven't gotten to the point where we're using something like a Q Floors or anything like that yet. We're still manually typing out proposals and submitting them. We have just a spreadsheet we use and plug in the numbers. So still kind of the old-fashioned way, but that may change down the road as we get more locations. And
I wonder
get busier.
with more locations and more things to keep your fingers on, I guess. Now, you mentioned you're aligned with Shaw. What does that mean? Obviously, you said earlier increased buying power. Talk about the relationship with Shaw.
It's been a good fit because it's also part of Berkshire Hathaway under that umbrella, which the same with Benjamin Moore. So to work with other companies under that umbrella has been good. Really have a good relationship with our reps. They've been good to us in setting up the stores. So so far it's been a good fit. Good products, obviously. Pretty local, pretty easy to get, and that's been helpful.
Yeah, it really has been a good fit for us. I mean, everything you're saying, it's true. I mean, the Berkshire Hathaway, that's a great tie-in for us. We actually approached Shaw and Benjamin Moore both wanting them to do more of this, combined efforts with the two companies, and we're trying to create inroads so, maybe this becomes a little more of a model for other stores down the road. Just the tie-in with the Shaw and the Benjamin.
It's a great idea.
So,
talk about selling paint and floor covering. Which came first, incidentally? It sounds like they both came at the same time from what you said earlier.
Yeah, I mean, when I started working at a Benjamin Moore store in Atlanta back in '93, like I said, we had flooring in there, but we didn't have very much of it. We didn't do a lot of it. When we opened our first store in '97, our own store, we had only paint. Then we slowly started bringing in flooring, and we found out that it was a really good fit because you never know, what's going to be paying the bills every month. 1 month the flooring would help carry you, 1 month the paint would help carry you, and it really made it kind of nice if you have a down month on one and the other one helps make up for it. I mean, I feel a lot of stores that didn't make it through all those tough times, one of the reasons we were able to sustain and make it through all those tough months is because we had both options. And you don't feel like you're desperate where you have to sell at any cost just to keep the doors open.
Yeah.
And we didn't feel like we were in that position. I mean, we had to lower our prices like everybody else did, but we weren't selling stuff at cost just to pay the rent every month.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a good fit. We've really liked the tie-in with the two.
How does it break down? This is literally half and half in
Right.
terms of floor space. How does it break down in terms of revenue?
Probably right now we're probably still about 60% paint and 40% flooring, but ever since day one we've been trying to get it close to 50-50, and I would say just a couple of years ago we were probably more like 75% paint. So we're moving in that direction, and we're
Okay.
really trying to get it closer to half and half.
So that would be bringing in new floor covering customers and also selling floor coverings to people that are buying paint.
Right. And when you have paint, a lot of it's going to contractors, and they're not all necessarily flooring customers. But it just takes time, and that's what we've done. And Rebecca's done a great job with the social media, and that's really gotten our name out there and
I gotcha.
gets us more recognized as a flooring dealer and not just a paint dealer.
Well, I got here at about 10:30, and the paint side was pretty full of contractors. I think that would seem to be sort of a late hour, I
Right.
guess, for contractors. That says something pretty strong there, I would say.
Still the traffic situation. You want to plan your day and travel on later morning times has been a better fit for us. Lunchtime is very busy because you don't have that threat of being in traffic. So we sort of plan accordingly.
How about somebody who comes in and is interested in buying carpet or other floor coverings? Is it difficult to get them into the paint? I mean, if they're redoing a room or something, it would seem like they're probably going to buy some paint. Is it easy enough for you guys to interest them?
It depends on at what stage they come in. If they come in at an early stage, then a lot of times, yes, we can kind of talk them into that. And the other factor is a lot of our clientele are not DIY customers in this area. So they're going to hire it done. So sometimes they're not buying the paint themselves. So we have to kind of convince them to get their contractor to come in and
I
use the
see.
paint. So it's not necessarily as much DIY, which it's still a very good market, but it's just a little bit different than what we have come
I guess
accustomed
in
to.
terms of the relationship with a paint contractor would be different than a relationship with a flooring contractor, I guess, isn't it?
Right. And we feel that the other store we're going, the coming location will be a little more of a DIY type of client.